After the initial preparations, I was off on a new adventure. Or it won't be much of an adventure, as I've been down this road many times before. But I'm trying to ride as many new roads as possible, so some of it might have that adventurous flavor. I have typically done 1 or 2 longer motorcycle trips per summer. This would be the first long trip, however, by chance, as summer had already turned into early autumn. I doubt I would do another one this summer. I'd been planning a rough route for a while and had a couple of stops in mind. But as I've done many times before, I set off without knowing exactly what the route is. I let the journey and its events guide me, and that's one of the reasons why little adventures happen. I continued this first part, stopping only to refuel my motorcycle. I took a short coffee break at the same time in a familiar cafe. Although the weather was drizzly, I didn't feel cold while riding. The air temperature was very warm throughout my journey for early autumn weather. The temperature dropped a little in heavy rain or fog, but I managed just fine with the base and mid layers I had with me. I had packed only the essential gear. For example, I didn't take any camping gear because I decided to stay overnight in cheap hotels and campsites in cabins. This kind of traveling can be done for a short period, say a week's trip. But in the Nordic countries, hotel prices are so high that a tent is the only wise option for long trips. A tent pitch costs little at the campsite, and you still have showers and indoor facilities. The first part of the first day was about 270 km from my home to the Vaasa-Umeå ferry. The ferry journey takes 4 hours and crosses the sea between Finland and Sweden. I arrived at the port to wait to board the ferry with a few other motorcyclists. We waited for some time and were then directed into the ferry. The ferry employee showed us where to put our motorcycles and we began using the deck's moorings. No storms or rough seas were expected, so I did not tighten the moorings to the limit. The ferry ran very smoothly the whole way. 4 hours were spent comfortably eating and planning the rest of the trip. I decided to ride another 130 km from the port of entry in Umeå before spending the night in a hotel. I continued my journey from the ferry port through the town of Umeå and on to its exit. The road continued rather monotonously through forest areas and small villages. It rained a little from time to time. After a couple of hours of riding, I arrived in a small town in Swedish Lapland. The town was called Storuman and there was a hotel called Luspen where I spent a peaceful night.